Welcome to Cukmekerb's coding class. Today, I'm going to show you how to use the GPIO pins on a Raspberry Pi to turn on an LED. You can use it to turn on other stuff too. And because I'm using electronic parts and not just, a computer, because this is not just coding, you're going to need some stuff. So you are going to need a Raspberry Pi, obviously, and you're going to need either female-to-female jumper wires or female-to-male jumper wires and a breadboard and an LED. See, the female side of the jumper wires looks like this, and the male side looks like this. And so you want one that looks like this. It's got one of each. Or you want one that's got a hole on both sides. Okay, so let's get started. You are going to need to pop open Python 3 idle on your Raspberry Pi. So let me just open that and wait for it to load the program. There it is, there's the shell. So now you're going to click on File, click New File, and start typing. So the first thing you want is import, what happened to my keyboard? Oh, import RP, capitalized, and then in lowercase I, dot GPIO, GPIO is capitalized, as GPIO not capitalized. And what that does is import rpi.gpio. What it does is it basically tells Python to get ready to use the GPIO pins on the Raspberry Pi, and then as GPIO tells it how to call the command so that you don't have to type as much stuff. Because if you didn't do as GPIO, you would have to type this to run any command from it instead of just this. So it's handy to do that. And then you need to do import time. And what this does is tells it that it's going to need to count. Now you need to do GPIO, not capitalized, dot set mode, and then in parentheses GPIO, again not capitalized, dot board, capitalized. And then on the next line, GPIO dot setup, and then in parentheses 12, that's the pin we're going to use, pin 12, comma, GPIO dot out. Out is in caps. Everything else is not. And what this does is it tells it that we're going to be using pin 12 as an output. And then on the next line, you put while not capitalized, and then true with a capital T, colon, and then down here you put, what this does is it makes a forever loop because we want to do this forever. GPIO dot output, and then in parentheses, oh, where'd all those H's come from? Whoa. Dot output, and then in parentheses 12, comma, GPIO dot high, and high is capitalized. Whoa, accidentally indented that. Okay, yeah, and you want these lines to be indented. Python normally does this automatically, but just so you know. And then time dot sleep, and then in parentheses 0.5. So what this does is this up here, this turns on whatever's plugged into that pin, and then this right here waits half a second. And then we want GPIO dot output 12, comma GPIO dot low, all capitalized. You know, that way high is on, low is off, clearly. And then time dot sleep in parentheses 0.5, whoops, not 0.6, but 0.5, so that it will wait half a second. And that's all the code you need to write. Now, for the electronic parts, this part's pretty easy. So, pop open a chart for GPIO. I'll send you the link to the one I'm using in your, browser or whatever. And you can see here that here's them labeled, so you can know which number's which. So, number 6 right here is a ground pin. So we're going to want to plug in one of our wires to that one. So it's 3 down the row on the right. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Plug it there on that 3rd pin. You can see that there. And then 3 more down the row is where we're going to plug in the other one. So 1, 2, 3, right there. And now, as you can see, we have 2 pins. So one of them, as you can see on this chart, one of them is this ground one, which is just the negative side. And then the other one, so this one, it's pin 12. Okay, so exit out of your browser, or whatever you're using to see that image. And now, you need to get either your breadboard or your LED, depending on which one you used. And if you're using a breadboard, like me, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to plug the red one, or, whichever one's plugged into pin 12, to this little red line here on the breadboard, and the black one, or whichever one's plugged into pin 6, the ground pin, pin 6, the ground pin, into the blue one. And then you're going to take the LED, and you're going to plug the long end to the red side where you plugged in the one in pin 12, and the short end to the other side. Like that. And then, back in Python, you're going to click Run, and then you're going to click Run Module, and then it's going to ask you, source must be saved. OK to save, and then you press OK, and then it'll ask you what to save it as, so I'm going to call it light up dot, just light up. Type that in, or whatever you want to call the file, and then I want to save it in this folder, so I'll click save, and now, whoa, it's running, and as you can see, the LED is lighting up every half a second for half a second. So yeah, that's how you use the GPIO pins on the Raspberry Pi. You can also use them as inputs, but I'm using them as outputs. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And check out Kid Z on the bottom right corner of this video. Yeah.